Boy, they look good when they're shiny. They might have come from the factory shiny. They may have ran when parked. But what if it looked like this? Do you think they'd ever get it done? I bet you there are a lot of projects that never get done. 69, 110, 3-speed, and butternut yellow. Now it looks like tropical turquoise. We are at the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Corvair get-together. And we've got 69s and a hot parking lot and dune buggies. Is it a Myers-Manx? That looks like a 64 taillight turned sideways.
California Clipper.
California Clipper. That was my second guess. It's got a Nash fan. If you can afford it, it's the way to cool your Corvair. 140 center carb. Looks like an Edelbrock AFB aluminum floor barrel. Oh, Carter? Well, now Edelbrock makes them. You got me, though.
Yeah, that one's very old.
The older, the better.
I got a 390
Holly.
It's in the Sonic cleaner right now.
These things are old. Hydraulic clutch, all set up. 1963. Chrome and sparkle and alternator and beautiful fittings. We're going to buzz up and down here before the awards are awarded. 63. Beautiful navy blue, dark blue. It's a 63 with a 61 grill bar, which looks better than the 63, which was a piece of bent tin aluminum anodized. Greenbrier 63 with a heck of a roof rack. What a beautiful metallic green, sparkly, automatic on the dash. Right there, little lever, right there. Nice striped interior, striped, gold, and a genuine J.C. Higgins cooler. Got extra wide wheels, 7-inch in the back, 6-inch in the front. 1967 with headrest seats in 67. I think the headrest tilted in the other years. Butternut yellow. V8, very fine. Very nice. Hillborn injection running on methanol. What? Whoa, baby. Fender exit headers. The torque twisters are here from Milwaukee. Built in 1971. Wow. It still exists after all those years. 1969, you can tell by the amber side marker lights, which were clear with an amber bulb in 68. Last for the VIN, 2626. 1969, two-door Power Glide with a clock. And spare parts, disc brakes, which Corvairs don't necessarily need because they have bigger brakes in the back, like a Vista Cruiser, 2.5 inch in the back, because they're rear heavy. The engine in a Corvette, for example, sits behind the axle center line in a Corvette. But in a Corvair, the engine starts here, way back, tail heavy, good for swinging at the rear end. 2-carb. Here's a 500 Power Glide, 1965. Got the 65 mirror with a little fake nut, running 8-inch Corvette wheels. 65. Ramp side. Everyone who doesn't own a Corvair is an expert. They don't flip over, they don't catch fire. Ralph Nader did not kill the Corvair, Lee Iacocca did. Genuine wire caps in a ramp side Dole Pineapple Corvair. 4-speed on the floor with a tissue dispenser. Very nice. Highly customized. This is a 1963-64 that made it onto the cover of the Corsa Communique, the National Club magazine. Beautifully published, and what a beautiful, beautiful car. Single headlight instead of duals. Custom grill bar. 63 interior in saddle tan, bucket seats. with a double dash. Makes you think of double Dutch doors. Air conditioned, 2-carb, mag fan. This car was at, which show did I see this one at? This woman competed in the Ed Cole Award. It's a factory 60,000 mile, 66 Monza with air conditioning. And this woman competed in the Ed Cole Award. You have to run in the rally, the econo run, the autocross. You have to partake in every single part of the show. Concours, and she did really well. 1969 140 4-carb automatic. They made Corvairs in every variation, even in 69. You can get 4 carburetors, 2 carburetors, automatic, manual. You just want to keep the mice away. Those mice like to nibble on everything. Put mothballs around your car, mouse traps. Don't put the mothballs in your car. 1969 Corvair, earlier production, still made on the assembly line before they went around 3000 to the cafeteria area where they assembled them outside of the production line so they could make room for Chevy 2s and Novas. This is a bungee cord adjusted, guess the brake light's sticking, Corsa, 1965, red on red. My favorite combination with those would be early 90s or late 80s. I think early 90s. No, early 80s. I got my gears confused when you get to be this old. 1965 Corsa, red on red. Those are 15-inch Z28 wheels, or from my Canadian or English friends, Z28 wheels, with deluxe seat belts in red. No, they're not Z28 wheels, they're Corsa wheels. Everybody can make stuff on their printer. This is a 140 Corsa. The engine that was optional in this would have been a turbo, but you could get the 144 carb in any Corvair. 500, Monza, 2-door, 4-door, automatic, 4-speed. If you got a 4-carb with an automatic, you got a 4-degree retarded cam and a different distributor. Lots of carburetors and a fair amount of compression, but not a lot of horsepower, because the cam was retarded 4 degrees. Corsa badge, minimalist styling, and the 65, 1 year only, had the pinstripe that was painted on. And we can thank the minimalist styling to, the fellow that designed the, Larry Shinoda. He passed away. Larry Shinoda. This is a 66 Corsa floor shift. Interesting. So it's an automatic, so it's not a Corsa, it's a Monza. With period correct Kragers. Nope, they've got the Unilugs, so they're newer. 2 carbs. This is a Monza with an automatic floor shift with a Corsa badge. Badge engineered, just like a Mustang Boss 302 I saw many years ago. But the fellow said to me, "That's all original." I said, "No, it's not. That was an automatic Mustang because the hole was hacked in the floor." He says, "No, no, no. That car hasn't been on the road in over 30 years." I said, "It was hacked back in the mid-70s. Someone took a Mustang automatic, someone scrapped a Boss 302, and they put all the parts on this Monza and claimed it was original, and it wasn't, because there was a hole hacked in the floor for the 4-speed, because the Boss 302s, also designed by Larry Shinoda, the stripes and the styling, he left GM in the late 60s after he was done designing the Corvair, the Corvette dash, the Camaro dash, the Corvair dash, which is why they all resemble each other. If you look at the dash on the Corvair, 65 Corsa dash, or the 67 Camaro dash, or the 68 Corvette dash, they're all the same because Larry Shinoda designed them. Same as that badge and the single pinstripe. So I forgot where I was going with this. There's also a Corvair that's an automatic. Wait a minute, an automatic? No, it's manual. So is that a dipstick for the differential? That must be the dipstick for the differential. Pardon me. This is a 4-speed Nash fan equipped 64 Spider with mini light style wheels. Is that a mini light badge? So there's this video that popped up on YouTube a couple of days ago, and a Corvair Corsa, 1965 Corvair Corsa, popped up at a junkyard. And the junkyard is Auto Parts City in Gurney. outside of Chicago, Gurnee, Illinois. And this guy got a Corvair Corsa Turbo. Six Flags territory. Everybody's going to the amusement park after they're done winging their Corvairs around. So there's a video on YouTube of Auto Parts City in Gurnee, Illinois. And he's got a Corvair Corsa that came into the junkyard from Nebraska, ended up in the junkyard in Illinois. And those deluxe seat belts? No, those are the aftermarket ones. Wood wheel, but no push button radio. And this is a 64 with no trim, so it might have a 64 interior. The door panels look like 64 or 63. Whoa, there's too many facts to remember to get it all straight. We've got a 140 in an early model, which never came that way unless you did a Bill Thomas style conversion to put 2 extra carbs onto the 110 or 102 or 98 horsepower or 80 horsepower. You could just take 2 bosses off a Corvair head and weld them or epoxy them on to your low horsepower Corvair or 102 or 98, and you have a 4 carb, which is what GM copied for the 65 Corsa or any Corvair that needed to have more than 2 carbs. This is a 62. It's got a luggage rack and a hooded mirror, so it's a 62. The interior is 62 with those nice buttons. And it's a Survivor with 64,000 air-conditioned, power-glided Corvair floor mat miles. Original Survivor. Single master cylinder, extra set of taillight lenses, and posi traction. And lots of tools to keep her well greased on the road. Stay Lube GL4. Don't use GL5 in your early Corvair or any GM with soft brass metals. Air conditioned suitcase, air conditioned equipped 62. Problem solved. 1962 Monza. They got rid of that sticker in 67 and they put the GM sticker in the door. Greasy Corvair. Just the way they need to be. They leak oil, might as well enjoy it. Run with it. 4 carb. 63 automatic with an 8-track James Gang. James Gang rides again. Van Halen. All day music. We'll miss Dennis Wilson. I listened to so many of those remembrances of him since he passed away a couple days ago at 82 years old. What a genius. Pet Sounds, American Graffiti, the Beach Boys. But the only song they did not play, 66 Corsa and Fire Engine Bright Viper Red. The only song they did not play in the remembrance to Dennis Wilson was She's Real Fine, My 409. What a beautifully restored 66 wood wheel. We've got a fresh restoration, nut and bolt, rotisserie restoration of a 65 Corsa. It was a shell. Now it's on its way to being show winning. 1965 Monza with hugging sport seats. Automatic on the dash. Corsa 1965 would have had a 140 standard or a turbo, and the turbo would have had a cutout vent into the tin in the rear valance. 62, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this was a turbo car. Pretty hard to replicate that. And now it's running a 140 in this 65 Corvair Corsa. Spider in 62, 3, and 4, and Corsa in 65 and 66. And thanks to Ralph Nader, Corvair continued in production 67, 68, 69. The Chevy 2 and the Camaro replaced it, but Ralph Nader got under GM's skin, and they kept on making them right till, was it May 14th, 1969? This is one of those later Corvairs. 13,000 miles, 16,000 original miles, dual master cylinder. 65, 6 had the single, 67, 68, 69 had the dual. This one was ordered with tons of options. Soft gray glass all the way around, floor mats, front rear, ribbon defroster, remote control rear view mirror, and it's square right there. Pretty rare option for a Corvair. Posit traction rear axle, 144 carb, 4-speed Muncie transmission. No, Saginaw in 66. Telescopic steering wheel, right there. Got one of those for my 67. Special steering equipment, quick ratio steering, heavy duty battery, speed warning indicator. This thing is loaded. Yep, it's got speed warning. No cruise control, no power windows, no power locks, no power seat. Not available. Auxiliary lighting, black vinyl trim, and it's burgundy. And the VIN, I think that's the body number. Where's that the VIN? 3681? Yep, that's the VIN. Because the body number was not the same as the VIN. And talk about a beautiful original 16,000 mile car. Just missing the star washer underneath the battery negative. And we've got Pertronics ignition, which personally I do not like. I'm not a fan of those snap-on connectors. Leave them on your trailer or your go-kart. And it's even got posit traction, original paint, but nothing is perfect. Why? Guess it got driven a little bit in the inclement weather. Northeast Wisconsin Corvair Club, Corvair Museum supporter, Corsa. 1969 Corvair Group. And one thing it does not have is a right side mirror, which so many people put on, but is that a new Corvair? It's the German Corvair. No side view mirror. Beautiful 69 Corvair 140 4-speed with F41 suspension and tons of options. See those headrests in the 69 are bent to tilt upwards, head restraints in case of an accident. On the 67s they run backwards. GM re-engineered things for the oddest reasons. Pretty much the only thing this car does not have is maybe deluxe seat belts if they would have been available with shoulder belts. It's got that padding around the radio. Ooh. Usually that's missing because it falls off. It doesn't stand up well at the test of time. No AM, FM, no multiplex. But pretty much every other option. This has got the wedding bands. This would be an earlier 66. They claim that GM went to the larger stainless steel band because these fell off. Well, 60 years later, they're still on, so I don't think they fell off. But that's what they said. This does not have backup lights. It's got tail lights on both sides. Backup lights wouldn't have been standard to what, 67? Air conditioned Corsa, which would be a 140 because the turbo never came with air conditioning. So it would have dual exhaust. Ooh, she's got dual exhaust all right. Woo-hoo-hoo. Make hear that baby bark. It's got IROC 16-inch wheels, alloys, and nice, I don't know what these seats are from, but they sure look kind of authentic-ish. Corsa dash, which a lot of guys put in their Monzas. Got some brand new American torque thrust wheels. American Racing. This is a 65 Monza automatic. Spider turbos, and all Corsas only came with a stick. Standard 3-speed, and most of them had 4 speeds. So if this is a 68, it's got a clear side marker with an amber bulb, and 65 interior in a 68, which would have the VIN in the dash and a go fast pedal. A lot of cars turned out here. 63 Monza 900. In 64 they dropped the 900 designation. There was a 500, which was a cheapie. 700 got you a bit of trim, and the 900 was the Monza, and they dropped that designation in 64. These are motor wheel spiders, 1970 vintage. When's the last time you saw a set of those? This is a 66 500 with a Monza interior, which never came in a 500. But somebody wanted bucket seats, and that's what they got. Here's another 500. This is a 69 orange lens, and it's got a bench seat, mandatory in all 500s and 700s. But this being a 65 or 6, this is a 69, would have a bench seat. The 62 Monzas came with a bench seat, but bucket seats didn't come till 63, I believe. But this is a 69. This has been reupholstered, but factory headrests. Got a wood wheel. Got a tachometer where the clock would go. and that padding around the radio that only happened in 68, 69. We've got a luggage rack on the engine compartment, 4 carburetors, and these guys drive their Corvairs. Drive and drive and drive and drive and
Well,
drive.
they like the color seafoam green. Did they tell you the story of why it's that color?
It's supposed to be called
4
Yup.
carburetors.
The government actually
AIR.
did a
This is a
study to figure out which color made
68
them
or
so
9?
insane.
69.
When they're in the tube. 18,000 miles in it.
18,000 miles on
Yeah, they used to paint their old
a
white.
69 140 4-speed because I don't see the Power Glide dipstick. So it could have been a 3-speed, but this is a 4-speed. 3-speed was always standard.
That's good.
69 with 16,000 miles. Dual master cylinder. It's got no lumps on the 69s because it didn't come down an assembly line the last half of production. 69 low miles. What a beautiful lot of cars. This may be my favorite. Rode hard and put away wet. And cool. Roof rack. I think that's fawn beige is that color. Same on the Corvette in 62, which would have been last year for the C1 Corvettes. It had the Stingray rear end, but solid axle, just like a truck. What the heck is that? Computer controlled. Too many switches. Oil pressure gauge on the oil filter. This is a 64. It got trimmed up with a fancy interior. This is an automatic. 64 would have had the 164 engine, an extra 19 cubic inches, bit more horsepower. The 4-speed got a steeper first gear because it had more torque and a bigger output shaft. V8 LS swap in yellow car. Wow, how do you put a V8 in the back of the Corvair? No problem. Ted Trevor was doing it in the late 60s. Is that a Tatra? That looks like a Tatra. That's where he got his inspiration from. He was running a big business. He just passed away a couple of years ago, I believe. Ted Trevor. Mr. Crown V8 Corvair.
Hi.
Hello. Great car. You brought it right to the Milwaukee Club. What is the explanation of this muffler? Looks like it's got some pieces and parts.
It's an X-type muffler, 3-inch inlets, 3 outlets. It comes together in the center of the muffler with an X. But if you have both of them open, it's really loud. So this one here is really plugged off. That makes it streetable and without getting everybody's attention as you drive by.
When you go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and wake everybody up.
Yeah, I would do that if that was the case. So pull a little wire out, pull the insert out, and then we get more maximum horsepower. Kind of depending on the track, if you've got too much power for it, you leave it in to knock down some of the power if you're doing one of these tight autocross.
Is it a 5.3 LS, 4.8, 5.3, 6? 6 liter, 3/4 ton. They came with a 6 liters. Go to the junkyard, they're all gone. 6 liter. And it's a manual transmission. That clutch pedal is real high. Wow. When you take her to the track, she really shines. She's real fine. My mid-engine Crown V8 Corvair. Somehow it doesn't rhyme. Sorry, Mr. Wilson. We miss the Beach Boys. Boy, listen to all their great songs. Help Me Rhonda. I listened to a couple of interviews on NPR. It was usually a lot uglier than that from the factory. Listened to a couple of interviews with Terry Gross, 1995 and 1998, 1991 interviews of Dennis Wilson. Interesting. The later interviews, he had a drawl to his speech. He didn't sound like he was all there. I think those drugs and his reconditioning to get him out of his funk, his depression. Well, he made it to 82, so who's to complain? 1960, another 69 Corvair. And the hubcaps are off because maybe they're going racing. Is that the way GM built them? Could be. My 65 Grand Prix Survivor ain't much better than that. Isn't that funny? 4309, almost 409. I was looking for a personalized tag for my 62 Impala. I went on eBay I typed in the year of manufacturer, license plates, and what popped up? 62-410. Front and back California, 62-410. Couldn't have been 62-409. I've got two of them. Brand new Clark's fuel pump. They're making new carburetors now, Clark's is. Thank goodness for cheap Chinese labor. 'Cause that's where all of Clark's reproduction stuff comes from. So that's it. You got a 4-speed, or is that a 3-speed equipped? That could be a 3-speed. 3-speed equipped. 69 Monza. Again, those headrests are tilted. Whoop! A little bit more upright than they would have been in 67 or 68 if you got them optionally. In 69, they were standard from January 1st, 69. So did 68 production Corvairs come without headrests? Good question. That would be a question for the Stock Is group. We've had a great turnout in Milwaukee. How many cars are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, I'd say 30, 40 odd cars are here. A couple of guys have left. It's hot in the parking lot. The tarmac is getting hot and sticky. No complaints. Glad I made the drive. One day we'll have to bring a Corvair. Maybe a rough and ready air conditioned 62 Lakewood Corvan. Of course it's got posi. I worked on a customer's 62 wagon 40 years ago. I got a picture of it. A Lakewood wagon, automatic with posi, factory posi. I took it in a sweeping bend to go on the interstate. I brought the back end out. Whoa, did that feel good. I still remember it all these 40-something years later. Hope you enjoy the video. I sure do.